mad that the baseball didn't do a stance like this before.
Yeah, I'm like, right now y'all being
But
fake.
this just
Y'all
changed.
they being
This just
fake for
changed.
me.
You're now watching a clip from the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
They're back. But that's it as far as basketball is concerned. There's a couple of baseball. And it seems like every time we talk baseball, it's never about baseball. It's always about some kind of political stuff around or surrounding
Yeah.
baseball. Baseball
They're
actually.
gonna try to find any way to get attention to baseball because a lot of people ain't watching it. So
Right, exactly. Opening day was like last week, and I mean, and it didn't fall on the radar for me too much.
not me neither.
Like baseball, it is what it is. I know the Marlins, they ain't doing too good right now. I get the updates with the score, so I see they ain't doing too good. But yeah, so the All-Star game was supposed to be held in Atlanta, and Georgia, as you might know, changed their voting laws recently. Like some of the changes are controversial, and a lot of people are saying that they're trying not to have black people to vote with all these rule changes. I mean, that part is kind of subjective, and I'm not really giving my opinion on that as far as the voting laws and what they really mean, because that's very subjective of what they mean. They could mean that, yeah, they might, it could mean that they don't want to get black people to vote. It could not. Who knows? Or maybe they just trying to stop fraudulent voting. Maybe, but some of the changes that they made is that absentee voting. I read into it more that they will have it, but there's just more restrictions to absentee voting. So, for example, I think if you live in somewhere else but you're a Georgia resident, you can't vote by mail with your absentee vote, or you can't have food or drinks during the line in voting, or you can't, like, if you're at a church and everybody's like, oh, let's go and vote, you can't bring a busload of people to go vote in the polls. All those, like I said, it's subjective. You have whatever your opinion on that. But the thing I want to say is that baseball decided to take a stand on something, and which is not common with sports leagues, period. I mean, NBA, they do a little bit here and there. They do the Black Lives Matter, and they try to promote equality and all of that. They try to do something like that. The NFL, they're probably the worst at it. I'm not gonna lie to you, as far as having their players back, so to speak. But the baseball, I commend them for taking a stand on something. Like, for you to say, hey, you feel like something is wrong, so you're going to change the All-Star game to a different location. So as far as the reasons why you did it, subjective. I mean, that's questionable why you did it. But the fact that you did it, I give you props for making the decision, because if this was a situation with the NFL, I don't think they do that. If this was the NBA, I don't think they did it. The NBA just had the All-Star game in Atlanta, so I guess when you come to the NBA, and the NBA is like, yeah, Black Lives Matter and all of that, right? But yet you still had this game in Georgia where they're changing laws that are allegedly not in favor of black folks. So, I mean, I just give baseball props for taking a stand and saying, hey, we want these rules seem a little bit outlandish, and some of them do seem a little bit outlandish, and they do seem like they have a certain agenda to them. And I commend them for taking the stand to move the game, which is now in Colorado, which is one of the most liberal states in the country.
Well, I have another stand on that, and I really don't like it. I don't like it because it's kind of going back to, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do that. Like that, at the end of the day, like, they knew how Georgia was before that even happened. Like, I don't understand why it's a big surprise now that Georgia was changing certain laws to, get certain things done or not done over there in their actual state. At the end of the day, like, Georgia is being Georgia. I like people, like, again, if you're a racist, I'm happy when you're racist out in the open and not pretending like you like me or you're in favor of this or in favor of that. Because for me, I'm looking at baseball like y'all fake. Because again, like what Marcus was saying, like y'all never took this stand. Now all of a sudden y'all want to take this stand. Where y'all was at 5 years ago? Where y'all was at when Colin Kaepernick was kneeing? And you have all these different.
That's NFL, bro.
I know, but we're talking about politics. You feel me? And if we're talking about politics, it doesn't matter. NBA should speak on that stance. With Trayvon Martin, on LeBron James and the Miami Heat and other, organizations and different teams stood on that. Same thing, Trayvon Martin happened in Miami, and people was in the NFL was talking about that also. You know what I'm saying? So me personally,
you mad that they didn't do this before, but
what? The NBA?
So you mad that the baseball didn't do a stance like this before?
Yeah, I'm like, right now y'all being fake. They being fake for me.
Like this month.
Huh?
The laws just changed now. They weren't the same.
Okay. See, but my whole thing is like still, regardless of the fact. And another thing, like I don't like mixing politics with sports. You feel me? Like at the end of the day, you moving out of Georgia is not gonna change anything for me. If you like baseball, you're still gonna watch it, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you? You feel me? Like it's not gonna change. Certain things ain't gonna certain people doing certain things ain't gonna change. So again, Georgia is not gonna change the laws now that you move from their city. It's still gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I mean, just like I know like certain places, I just won't go, it won't change their business, right? Like, for example, like Roundup, that country western bar. Ever since Trump was in office, like I'm just like, nah, I'm not going there because these Trump supporters, they be wilding. And that doesn't stop the Trump supporter. That doesn't stop that business. But I'm taking a stance for myself, like I'm not gonna support someone who is not in support of me. So I think that's the stance that they taken. They're like, oh, this state and these laws are not in support of our players and our fans. So
which
elsewhere.
Which I do understand, and kind of that was we kind of had like a debate on this before when we were talking about Colin Kaepernick, and I respected that he took that stance, but I didn't respect that he stopped. You feel me? So baseball, you want to take a stand? Cool, take the stand, but please continue. Please continue with this stand. You feel me?
Definitely disagree on that.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're gonna take the stance, take it. See, because Colin Kaepernick is individually. If we're talking about baseball, you feel me? Baseball, yeah, you took this stand. There's gonna be a lot of other politics that need to be stands taken. Please step up to the plate when it happens. You feel me? That's all I'm saying.
Colin Kaepernick continued to take a stand even when
we're not talking about Colin Kaepernick right now.
We're not talking workout, but you just said Colin Kaepernick, you mad at him because he didn't continue. But exactly. He had a workout and he continued with that same jargon and rhetoric of, Black Lives Matter and this and that. And look at him now.
In the league. See, but that's what I'm saying. He's still not in the league, so why stop? You're still not in the league. So why stop? You might as well keep fighting the fight. I mean, they already blackballed you. Where else can you go? You only could go up from here, Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick has fought the good fight for long enough, man. He did this for years, bro. Years. Like Colin Kaepernick, he's fought this fight for years, bro. Come on. Like when he first kneeled the first time, how long ago was that? Come on, man. That was a long time ago. At least that was more than that, bro.
2 or 3 years ago.
When he was in the league?
I mean, if he wasn't doing a great job at it because I didn't know about it. You feel what I'm saying? And I know sports also.
First took a stand? What are you talking about? That was news everywhere when he first.
No, I'm not talking about
kneeling stuff.
Nah, I'm not talking about. Are you saying it happened when he first started kneeling, or he was already fighting the fight before he started kneeling? Because if you're talking about before the kneel, I didn't know him for fighting for that.
No, I'm just saying since he started kneeling, he's been fighting this good fight since then.
Okay, right? And it's your opinion that he's fighting a great fight, and it's my opinion that he's not fighting a great fight. He had one round, and there's still 11 rounds to go.